I remember a few years ago, I wrote a couple of blog posts about voice and
Uh-huh.
how it happens that an author develops their voice. And I think it's something that at least for me, it took a lot of time. Like I'm not going to say that, oh yes, I have a strong voice now, but it's I have more of a voice than I did way back
Yeah.
when. It just took writing, just a lot of writing. Or did you do any exercise? Like did you try to write in different authors' voices to explore their voice and then in that way try to find what was unique to your own?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So I remember being back in college and thinking that my voice was something I was going to have to invent. Was my voice going to be urbane? Was it going to be casual? Was it going to be colloquial? What decisions did I need to make about the voice? And what I discovered after, writing for years is your voice, it, it's nothing terribly arcane. Your voice is just you. It's your enthusiasms, your passions. So do you know the cooking show Good Eats?
Oh,
Um,
yes, I love that.
yeah. Yeah, I love that show. And if you go back and watch the first episodes, they're much um less quirky, less personality in them. They're still the focus on a scientific view of cooking,
Mm,
but it's just a lot less buoyant and over the top. And just as the episodes go on, he starts leaning more into his passions for particular things, for the science, but other things as well. He starts, letting his connection to Southern culture show. He just starts showing more and more of him. And I think that's your voice when you
yeah.
lean into your passions, when you show the things that are interesting to you, even if you don't think they're going to be interesting to every member of the potential audience, but they're interesting to you. That essentially is your voice. That's what people connect to and see as you.
Yeah. No, that's very well said. I love that example. That's Alton Brown, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I love his Twitter handle. I think it's Thyme Lord.
Oh, yeah.
I expect he watches a lot of Doctor Who, but
Yeah, probably so.
anyway. Yes, so I was thinking about motivation. I
Mhm.
think this is something that a lot of writers have trouble with. Do you have anything that you could say about how you motivate yourself to write? Do you have any like writing exercises that you use, or do you tend to write at a particular time of day, or do you have a particular place that you write in, or just I don't know if you could just say anything about that.
Yeah. Okay. So I think one thing I've kind of learned recently is that focusing on motivation, is a sucker's game. Okay.
Thank you.
No, 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 no. That's not what I mean. I'm just trying to explain.
No,
So
no, I know, I know.
I recently read Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg, and he talks about how to create habits. And I think that's what you want to focus on, is
Okay.
habit formation, not motivation. Because your motivation goes up and down from day to day. You get tired, your motivation slags. You also have conflicting motivations. You want to write the book, you also want to dork around on the web, and but if you focus on habits and making it easier for yourself to sit down and do the work, get rid of any distractions that are preventing you from doing that, set a quota if that works for you. That's what's going to enable you to put consistent words on the page. So yeah, I guess one of the things he says in the book is, don't focus on motivation, because it is very hard to hack your motivation. It is much easier to hack how easy an action is to take. And that's going to make you do it.
Mm, I like that. Yes, I'm a big believer in. So, would you say that people should aim to write daily?
I really do think it makes such a difference. So that is something I'm working on right now. I have a Facebook group called the Quarter Million Word Challenge, and
Okay.
the idea behind this is just to write 685 words a day, which over the course of a year is a quarter million words, which is a lot. So I developed the idea for this challenge after reading Chris Fox's 5,000 words in an hour, which is about, putting out
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of word count. And I was like, okay, well, what would be like a really aspirational, really wonderful word count to hit for the year? 250,000, because that would let me do 2 books and still have some room left over for novellas or lead magnets or whatever. Um, and yeah, so I think having the daily quota really, it helps me just put out many more words than I would otherwise, because even on bad days, I'm frequently putting up some words and it just all adds up. But also, B, it really makes me aware of where are the stumbling blocks in my life that are preventing me from getting words on the page. For example, a couple of weeks ago, one of the little boys, or actually I don't know whether it was a boy or girl, one of the kids in my son's class got COVID, and so they crashed
Oh
the
dear.
class for a couple of weeks and went virtual. And
Hmm.
so my kids were around
Hmm.
all the time,
Oh dear.
and this was a big problem with hitting my word quota. But it just makes me aware that, okay, well, I need to develop some strategies for dealing with those days when I don't have help with childcare, because those days are going to happen, like especially over the summer. And this is an area that I need to focus on in order to continue getting the kind of output that I want to.
Would you say, like, on a day when you are just not able to meet your word quota, would you say that it's better to just say, okay, that didn't happen, moving on? I'll just meet it next day. Like, I'll just meet it tomorrow. Or would you try to make up for it?
I don't think you can make up for it. I think you wind up um, kind of in a hole of despair that way, or at least I
Pit of
do.
despair,
Yeah,
Princess
yeah, the
Bride
pit of
reference.
despair.
Gotta like it.
um, but it's a very kind of gutting feeling to sit down and be like, okay, well, I didn't get there yesterday, so today it's going to be 1,000 words, and then maybe today goes wrong, and tomorrow I'm like, okay, well, 1,600 words, and then the next day perhaps I'm like, okay, this has reached an impossible mountain of words. Now I guess I'll just go for a walk. Yeah, when I'm trying to structure habits for myself, I do try to structure things where if I have a setback, the motivation doesn't go down with the setback. So what I'm trying to do with my 250,000 word challenge is not to actually hit 250,000 words. I'm just trying to hit the quota on as many days of 2021 as I can. And, you know, if I
Really
miss a
good.
day, I miss a day. But the very next day, I can hit my quota and be back in the game.